Welcome to LSD, Life Song and Death podcast, where I talk to my friends, strangers, and everybody in between about the most psychedelic trip called the human experience. Today I have one of my really good friends, Luis Dejesus, and his background is real fun. It's gonna be an interesting conversation, but we were talking about a little bit earlier. You were saying something about night vision.
Oh yeah, night vision. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a deep rabbit hole, but it's this fun one. Yeah.
So can you tell me about that again?
Oh yeah, sure.
I was
sure.
only halfway listening when I was setting. When I was setting up, I was only halfway listening. So you were saying the difference between like
Yeah, I know that they used to like Vietnam time, or that they used to have red night vision, like the infrared, the night vision goggles. They used to be red, and the soldiers, they would start shooting at things and screaming in fear and things because they were starting to see like demonic creatures flying through the air. Like the gunner ship guys were shooting into the middle of nowhere just because they were seeing these creatures. And same thing for the people on the ground. And so they fixed it by switching to green. So I don't know, it was pretty compelling stuff.
So it was causing them to have like hallucinations and stuff.
I would say it was more of they were getting to see a spectrum that we don't usually get to see.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So like
it was showing a specific infrared infrared that we don't get to see. And it just was enough to shift over, just like I guess the tech. And then the specific color was bringing it into visible, and people were getting to see what was really going down. Well, so-called.
So-called. Is this the same people that make the flat Earth?
I don't know.
Flat Earth, the whatever you want to call it, the theories or
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's always fun.
That's crazy.
Keep your mind open to all the stuff out there, like the laser light hitting the wall, and if you like stare at the laser light just right, I think you have to have it like refracted or something like that. But if you stare at the laser, like look at it just right angle, apparently you can see code, and it proves that
code.
We're the Matrix.
I heard a little bit about that,
or like another dimension, kind of deal.
All right, that thing's turned off now that I'm not distracted. Okay, so I heard on Rogan's podcast that that's like you have to be like have DMT.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be on DMT, and then you have the laser shine to the wall, and then you can see coding like the Matrix.
Anybody got DMT?
I mean, I got some connections. One lives in Arizona right now.
Right.
But yeah, so we've known each other for forever.
17?
Yes. 2017.
Right, yeah.
No, I was 22, 23. I was 23.
Don't ask me my age. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was 23, so that was 9 years ago. So whatever that is. It's been crazy, right? 9 years?
Right?
Mm-hmm. It was about a year after I met Malcolm, who's our friend connection.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's about it.
Okay.
But yeah. So since then, we've gone through all sorts of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But share a little bit about your background, like a high-level overview, and then how you got to where you are today.
Yeah.
And then we can take tangents from there.
Right from there, yeah. Yeah. No,
because you were okay. Let me ask you this: so
Yeah.
you were. I've known that you've had multiple different like business ownerships.
Yes.
Like you owned a mechanic shop for once. That's one of the things. I can't remember the other couple.
Oh man, I've flipped cars as a business.
Yep.
I've worked on cars as a business. I've painted cars as a business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've fixed people's, like handyman. I've been a jack of all trades.
Yeah. And so what happened to make you like not go bigger and better on
through
this?
that path?
Yeah, on those ones.
I mean, life kind of hit, so the circumstances didn't really line up to the way it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, the next thing showed up, and then we moved on. But depending on like life and people and things like that were around, obviously played a factor on what we were gonna do.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, most of it was some bad customers.
Oh,
Really.
interesting.
But I think if I would have had a better experience with some of the customers that we had,
Uh-huh.
I probably would have stuck with it a little bit longer, or even made something more of it. But there were so many getting sent court, was it subpoenas and whatnot, because they were like, "Oh, it's here to get the tire rotation, but now my engine doesn't work, so it's your fault." Like, we didn't even touch that.
Yeah.
Like, we turn it on, put it in, take it out, and you're done. But yeah, no, some of the things that people were claiming, and it was just because we were really young. We
Okay.
were still in high school,
Wow.
So,
Okay.
the people that, I guess, they just saw that a couple young kids who could get taken advantage of,
Totally.
and so yeah, it was the times then. I'm sure it's still like that now, but yeah, now it's
And where was that?
in Charlottesville.
Charlottesville.
Yeah, still in Virginia.
Okay.
Most of the endeavors have all been in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no. And then we needed to get a CDL. We were running Hot Shot, and then well, I guess let's go before that. 'Cause
Yeah.
Before that, I did work in a building, and I just got tired of working. I think it was like 11 years of working in a building, doing the same thing over and over again, and I was just over it.
Yeah.
And so when we had to like Go Puff, those where you can work for yourself.
Yep. Gig work.
Gig
things.
work, yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And man, I just liked the freedom of it. So gig work, and then COVID hit,
Yep.
and then it kind of shot off pretty good, especially since we were essential workers. And once all that was overdone with, it kind of just petered out. So then that's when we've had to find something else. We found Hot Shot, started driving a pickup truck and a 40-foot trailer, and just took that thing around the country.
So what were some of the things? So Hot Shot, for those who don't know, what is that?
Yeah,
what is that?
So Hot Shot, you take less than truckload.
Truckload meaning?
Truckload. So anything a semi wouldn't take. So you would take like a single generator to
Okay.
a location for X amount of money, a certain amount of miles. But for a semi, it wouldn't pay enough. So in your smaller vehicle that doesn't burn as much fuel, you do that. You can pick up a couple of different loads.
Okay.
And then, so anything that a semi wouldn't take, you're probably taking.
And you're connected to you said like a 350 truck, something like that.
Yeah,
a pickup.
Yeah, it's at minimum a 250, but
Okay.
yeah, 350, or 3500.
Right.
Depends on who you have, and at least something that can pull up to 26,000 pounds if you're not running CDL, which was what we were doing, and then we were giving up too many jobs because we didn't have CDLs and we couldn't. We couldn't pull any heavier loads.
So if you didn't have a CDL, so CDL, what does that stand for?
That's a commercial driver's license.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's if you don't have a CDL, you can only pull up to a certain weight.
Right. Yeah. 26,001 pound. You can't go over that.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
That 1 pound's where they get you.
Right. And they would get you.
Yeah, you got those weight stations along the side that I blow past.
Stations, and then at the time we thought we were under the radar, but found out in Iowa that was not the case. There's a lot of requirements that even non-CDL holders, like for just driver's license, but as long as you had a DOT number on the truck, you were held to the standards of having a CDL.
In Iowa?
In most of the U.S., it's just we found out in Iowa.
Okay.
But we made it, I don't know, like 20 some thousand miles without getting a single thing until that one day. And then it was just like eye opening. Try to figure out that, oh, well, I guess we're going to have to run logs. We're going to have an ELD. We're going to have a way to track the miles that we're running, the hours that we're doing.
Oh, so you guys were just like free
Oh,
balling
we
it,
were free balling. We were doing it as legal as it could be.
not knowing.
Not knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Whoa.
we did that, where you just research things and take a leap of faith.
Yeah.
And we didn't have all the information, and we just did it. And it worked out for a while, and it really was fine. And then after that, it was more like, all right, tired of giving up these loads. A few things went, not the right way.
Yeah.
And I went and got my CDL just because
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to haul heavier loads. And also doing the CDL class, I got to learn, like all the DOT and FMCSA laws and rules and all their nonsense that they have to shoot at you. So now, if I decided to go do it again, I'd be fine. But yeah, no, now I while doing my training, I fell in love with driving a semi. So now I'm just driving a truck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a blast. I think it's like driving a big SUV, I drive it like one anyways.
More power to you, dude. I hate driving big trucks.
Oh, it's a blast.
Like, nah, I like to be able to go in and out and not be like, move out of the way, bitch. I don't want that. I just want to zoom around them. And
Yeah.
but okay, so you've been driving semis now for roughly 8 months.
Mhm.
Okay, and you've seen the whole countryside. What's your favorite
Oh,
state that you've
man.
seen?
That's a hard question because Washington
State?
State and Montana, just I don't know, something about those states.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want like the greenery, Washington.
Okay.
If you want that like greenery with a little bit of that old timey cowboy feel to it, you go to Montana or Wisconsin. Not Wisconsin, but Wyoming and like North Dakota and stuff like that. And it's just
It's like a time travel.
it's
It puts you-
absolutely like a time travel. Like it's just once you get out there and you just start driving, and it's just nothing but you and openness.
Mm.
Not a single thing for at least 50, 40 miles.
Dang, dude.
It's a blast. But
You just cruise control that bitch and keep on rolling.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep rocking. Yeah.
Wow. I bet that gives you a bunch of well, definitely gives you a lot of time to think.
Oh yeah, too much time to think.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, no, but it's good though, because without it, I don't think I would have figured out certain paths that I'm trying to take now if I didn't have the time to think.
Okay.
But besides that, yeah, no, you got plenty of time to think out there.
Yeah.
Just don't think too much.
Okay. Yeah, down certain paths.
Yeah.
Certain things definitely think
Yeah.
about. So what would probably be one of the craziest things you were thinking about? You just went down a super rabbit hole down there. And,
I don't think I really went too crazy with it, but it definitely always involved, trying to get out of the situation that I'm in now, which
Okay.
is, it's nothing bad, but, right now we live in Virginia, right? And it's fine. We have like 6.5 acres
Mhm.
and it's fine. But I realized that I wanted to have like a compound,
Totally.
and if the kids wanted to move out, they could, and they could just, do their own thing. Or if they wanted to like get like, I don't know, in some of these areas you have like 300 plus acres.
Mhm.
And
Out west?
Yeah, out west.
Okay.
Absolutely. And it's not that bad. There's certain requirements that would like to be met, income taxes and stuff like property taxes.
Yep.
But it made me realize that that's what I wanted. And so a compound, kind of just have a bigger group of like-minded people
Mhm.
living near me, even if it wasn't kids or anything like that, just friends, family, whoever wanted to come out. But then trying to find people who are like-minded too, man.
Totally. Let's start a cult.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I've mentioned this to a couple people.
Starting a cult?
Well, not the cult.
Oh,
But,
okay.
After I described, like my perfect world, they're like, "That sounds like a cult." Like, it's not what I'm trying to do, but hey, fuck it. I mean, if that means having a cult. It is what it is.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on who's classifying it.
Right.
And as long as you're not making money off of your
Right.
your constituents,
Yeah, the constituents.
the
Yeah.
constituents that are around you,
Yeah.
your neighbors, then I guess it wouldn't be classified as a cult, but it'd just be more of a commune.
Yeah, commune, and like that goes with like financials too. I mean, you think about it, you have just say 10 people that are like-minded, and
Yep.
then something that has to be gotten, and then you got 10 incomes.
Yes. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hopefully, yeah. Or at least they have something to contribute that allows the other people to go out and contribute
Totally.
financially. But besides that, can you imagine just like the houses that you could have, or the property set up the way you wanted to, just when you have, I wouldn't say unlimited money, but a better reach of cash flow coming in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and all the costs can technically go down because it's split.
Exactly.
Versus, you want to come up? Nope. Okay. So yeah, wow. So you've been doing CDL now for 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
You were driving across country.
Yeah. We were OTR, which is over the road, hitting all lower 48 states.
Okay. I mean, if you're driving to Hawaii, tell me that voodoo magic.
Can you imagine? We're taking one of those, what was it, the military planes, just shove the truck in there.
yeah, the big old...
Yeah, I don't even know what they are.
I don't either. It's one that carry tanks across the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That would be nice.
I'd like to have my own airport too.
Heck yeah.
Old John, what was it? Not John Travolta, but who was it?
I think it was John Travolta.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He had an
airport. Just pull up to his house.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it.
Yep. That's grease lightning right there.
Mm-hmm. Grease lightning.
What do you want? Come up. Come on. There you go. Okay, you gotta lay down. But so did you have any like near death experiences on the road?
I wouldn't say.
Or have you ever had any near death experiences in your life?
Well, all right. I think yes to both.
Okay.
Mostly the ones over the road were because when you're driving over the road, you get paid mileage.
Mm-hmm.
And so the more miles you drive, the more you make. But if you don't, if you're not moving, you're not making any money.
Right.
So you would push, and we were running teams. So all that means is that there's another person in the truck with me. And when one's driving, the other one's sleeping. So the truck would never stop unless we're getting fuel or we're at a place to drop off the load or pick up a load. But sometimes you'd push it a little too far. And when you're in the truck supposed to be getting sleep, you're getting knocked about. It's not a very good environment to pass out on.
Right.
But eventually, after like 3 days of that, you will crash. You'll get like 3 hours of sleep, and then you're good to go for the next 4 days.
Whoa.
But yeah, no, pushing it, as hard as you could, well, as we could, 8th, 9th hour of just pushing it straight through, nothing in the road and just desert or wilderness or whatever the case was. And you're just going, and when you just start nodding off and you don't realize that you're nodding off.
Right.
Just you're exhausted, but you don't know it. There's been a couple times the truck's been past the rumble strip, past the end of the road, and it was in the grass kind of, and then have to bring it back safely enough that it doesn't trigger any warnings.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely. We've both experienced some stuff like that. But that was just self-inflicted. We probably should have attempted going to bed or something like that. But that's good times. It's fun stuff.
And I bet there's a lot of most drivers out there have that experience.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's a driver out there that I haven't met so far that hasn't had a crazier story than the experiences that we've had in the 7 months.
Right.
Yeah. Of over the road. Yeah.
Have you hit anything while you were out there?
Nothing of consequence.
No humans.
No humans. A lot of lizards. What?
A lot of lizards.
A lot of lizards. No, nothing out there.
Armadillos.
They're some funny looking creatures. They're fantastic. They're just oddball enough that I might actually want one if they weren't crazy. But
Meaning
like as a pet.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Armadillos. Have you ever seen them? Like actually seen them?
No, not in
They have like
person.
these claws on them too, and they're like little furry little things. It's weird.
Furry?
Yeah, they have hair on them. It's weird.
I thought they had like a hard shell.
It's hardish, yeah, hard skin, whatever.
Skin.
Yeah.
Okay. The pictures don't do it justice though.
No. I mean, there's different types,
Okay.
but the ones that we would usually like see on the side of the road or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was they look like armadillos. They have the whole feature and everything, but they have like little tiny hairs on them. It's hilarious with some sharp little nails. Tumbleweeds.
A lot of
That
that.
was fun to see.
For
some of those would scratch up the truck pretty bad.
What?
Some good dust storms. Some of the tumbleweeds were, but the size of a tire, and you'd be going
a semi tire or normal
yeah,
tire.
I mean, I would say normal tires, but
Okay.
there were some bigger ones out there. You knew you hit it.
Whoa.
Yeah, it. There's some dents in the front of the truck because of it, because it's just a dried up bush,
Right.
and it just starts rolling once it catches wind. Yeah, it was fun seeing those for the first time when we first went out.
Mm-hmm.
But to hit one, that thing like blew up into a little dust cloud. It was great.
I love it.
Yeah. But besides that, not really any accidents or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, we've been pretty good at that.
Right.
Yeah. But as for like other near-death experiences, I guess, was Lake Anna.
Okay.
Which is not too far from here.
Right.
It's like, what, an hour?
About an hour, yeah.
But,
We're in Richmond, by the way.
I was out with a couple friends
On it?
on the lake.
Okay.
Yeah. We were jet skiing, and I don't know, that classic tale is like you don't eat and then go try to swim afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I always thought it was hilarious. And I was like, that's crap. Until I did it and tried swimming across the bay to get to the other side from what the boat launch was, and I just went straight down. I think it went out like, I don't know, 20 feet, and then just sunk. And it was just at the edge of like where the lake kind of just drops off and starts to get really deep.
Yeah. Lake Anna's huge.
Yeah. And so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just remember going down, and I was like, well, I could see the light. Like, it's just like not the light and like, oh, you're dead, but like,
Right.
I was eyes open underwater, watching it get further and further away from me, and fully intaking water. And whether it was true or not, it felt like I was breathing water. But that's a whole other experience. Yeah, I got gills back here.
Yeah, we all got gills back there.
But yeah, no. And then it was like an instant flash of just like saying what things could be. And I think since then it's just been trying to make it happen.
Or at what point were you in life? That was a terrible question. Let me start that over. What age were you?
Oh man, I say I was probably like 22 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So enough to have a pretty much formed brain.
Yeah.
For you to let it impact you.
Yeah. Because like the whole truck driving thing, what was it? I was in high school,
Mm-hmm.
doing my trade school, and I was already planning on how to have my own trucking business.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, I couldn't even tell you why it didn't happen. Oh, kids. That's why.
Oh, yeah. Kids would do it. Yeah.
But yeah, I was already thinking about it. So the fact that it took me this long to finally do it, I guess the circumstances finally.
I get it. I spent my whole 20s running away from entertainment.
Yeah.
And now I'm at 32 and I'm like, screw it, I'm doing it. I've had enough no's in my life that the doors keep fucking closing. And it's like, hey, you're going to try this business. Nope. You're going to try that business. No. You're going to try this business. No. You're going to try this. No. No. And then it's like, okay, fine, universe. I will give in to what my actual heart's desire is.
Yeah, no, 100%. I feel like plan A through like K has kind of petered out. And I was like, all right, fine, I'm done. It's like, oh, plan A didn't work. Okay, plan B. Plan B didn't work.
Totally.
Plan C. Okay, at some point you'll just call it and say, yeah, absolutely, I'm
Yeah.
gonna enjoy whatever comes up my way, and then I'll just do it, see how it plans out. And that's kind of where truck driving got me, is or to go get the CDL after like doing hot shot. It was just like that. It's like this plan, okay, that didn't work. This plan, okay, that didn't work. This plan, okay, that didn't work. And then here we are, doing this. And even then, I'm still like, all right, this is still, plan J.
Right.
We're still, this is my end goal. This is where I'm at with it. How do we get there? Making it happen.
But deep down, when you said like in trade school, you were wanting to do something with trucking and transportation.
Transportation, yeah.
But you tried a bunch of other things because you were. Would you say that you were afraid to go after your dream because if it didn't work out, it would fail?
I think that it was more I didn't have the funding to do it.
Oh, okay.
So nowadays it's a lot more expensive, but back then it wasn't that bad. But when you don't have a job and you're still in high school,
absolutely,
you don't have any financial history that can say, "Hey, bank, fund me."
Right.
And then a used semi was still $60,000, and that was then. Now $60,000 is a used pickup truck.
Right. Right.
So,
yeah. Yeah. Oh, how times have changed.
Right.
Yeah.
Inflation.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So it was mostly the financial portion of things, and the insurance that you had to have to be able to even start the company.
Right.
And then not including, once you got the vehicles, they had to have insurance, and then you had to have a MC number and a DOT number, and all that cost money. And then you had to figure out your bookkeeping at that point. And I didn't have that kind of business background or financial understanding of things like that just yet. And so it was a great idea, but never hopped on it. Yeah.
Do you feel like it was a little bit of like a guiding, even though, not to say like everything's planned out and whatever, but did it feel like that now looking back at it, or does it seem like it was just like a happen? Do you understand what I'm trying to ask?
Yeah, I feel it. No,
or is it maybe an and or?
Yeah, I think throughout the experience, I never got okay, this is the path, and this is whatever, anything like that. It was always here's my plan. I want to do this now. Okay, that didn't work out, but there was nothing saying, oh, well, because this didn't work out, like later, then realizing, oh, it was because I was meant to go do this later.
Right.
But at some point, I picked up this notion that, that whole deja vu thing.
Okay.
Where you just like get deja vu and you're just like doing something, could be driving or whatever the case is, and then you just like it hits you and like, it's like I've done this before.
Yep.
And whatever you decide you want to believe, if it's because you've already done this before, timeline has repeated itself, or if it's alternate universe, and every time you make the decision, you create a new universe by doing that.
Yep.
I'm like, there's so many things, whatever you want to believe, but for the most part, every time I have a deja vu moment, if I know that I've already done it and I'm experiencing it, then I'm like, okay, well, at least I'm following the path.
Yeah. That's how I see it too. Yeah. Is like if I have a deja vu of some kind, sometimes I dream the future, and I've experienced both.
Yeah.
And I can definitely distinctly like being like, oh
yeah,
I dreamt this back February of 2021.
Okay.
And it's like I woke up and I remember it, and then I went back to sleep, and then I forgot about it until I experienced it. And then there's sometimes I've just been like, I've done this before. And it's very different in my brain.
Yeah, okay.
But the deja vu thing, dream of the future thing is like weird.
Yeah.
I just let it be. Just like I'm not even gonna try to control it, not even gonna try to dive into it any bit. But the deja vu thing is that same way that you and I agree, is that it's like, all right, I've done this before. I feel like I'm on the right path. It's like an assurance, like when I guess like if you're playing a video game or whatever, it's like an auto save.
Yeah, autosave right
Yeah.
there. Start over from right here.
Yeah, you start over from right here, and you're like, okay, got it. I've done this before, so either our brains are just wigging out, and there's nothing else, or we're tapping into the multiverse.
Yeah,
that is a whole nother conversation that we can
different plane of existence.
Correct, and it's like, oh, we're all of Kaylee has now has locked into ourselves in every multiverse
that
except for
convergence of
correct the convergence, and they're all locked in except for maybe some didn't lock in.
And have you ever like seen like you're doing something specifically, you choose to do a specific way, but then like you get a blip of where you can like see, well, what if you didn't do it? And you only get like a couple like milliseconds of seeing what that path would lead, and then it kind of goes away.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It happens.
I don't even know how that even happens.
Dude, it happens to me all the time. Yeah. And because I drive a lot too. And so like if I have like a near car accident experience, because I'm super aware, we all are aware when we're driving. So like if I go off and I'm like, oh, that's cool, I get like the mental picture of like, oh fuck, that's about that would have happened.
It's like that guardrail could have been me.
Correct.
Yeah, I feel it.
Or I could have smashed into the back of that car. Or like if I'm walking up steps and I slightly trip and I don't trip, but the rest of my brain plays out. And it's like, oh, this is what happened if you did trip.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing because, like, it's like, okay, so what is our brains? And, like, what is our bodies and who are we as humans? Are we just like an antenna for... I heard on a podcast a while ago, like, a guy, he was a physicist.
Okay.
And he had an outer body experience,
all right,
like 30 years ago or whatever. He was going to sleep, and then he just lifted up and saw himself. So in like the weird, in the I wouldn't say weird, but in the in between stage of being awake and then being fully asleep, there was this middle zone where he was still fully conscious in this realm, but he wasn't in his body. And so that wigged him out because he was a physicist. He thought he died. And then he went and did some things around his house, and they came back and then woke up. And then he was like, okay, what was that? And so he's been on the past 35 years of figuring out
what that was.
What that was.
That's crazy.
And so now he's able to do that on purpose.
Command,
on command, correct. And it's on command. Within that podcast, he said it's on command within his own confinement. So he couldn't like
go and travel the world kind of thing.
It was more of like if he was going to prove something, he's like, that's not how it works.
Okay.
It's not like a magic trick kind of thing. It's more of a it's more of just like a...
You're gonna have to experience it for yourself.
Correct.
Do it yourself. Yeah.
Correct. He's like, I'm not gonna be able to. I can teach you.
Yeah.
How I do it.
Yeah.
And it'll be very similar, but it's gonna be different for you because you're. And so with all of that, his perspective on the universe and multiverse and life in general is like, just as evolution has come about, it's like we all started from a single cell organism and everything got more and more complex. There became a point where, this is his belief, there became a point of where consciousness hit a plateau. I was going to say apex, but no, a plateau. And then the only way for consciousness to continue to grow, aka life to grow, it had to duplicate itself into smaller free-formed entities, aka
Okay.
higher entities
Yeah.
of humans, right?
Yeah.
And so now consciousness, the greater consciousness, some folks call it God, some folks call it Allah, some folks call
Yeah.
it the universe, whatever. It's all just this collective consciousness
Mm-hmm.
of life.
Okay.
And each person, each human has a data stream connected to it.
Yeah.
And he says his belief as well is we can change our data streams at any point we want, have different experiences. And that's what like astral projection is you just change your data stream. And so now you're experiencing a different thing. And he also believes like dreams are real
Okay.
in a different location.
Yeah, like something somewhere is experiencing the dream that you're dreaming because they're connected to you.
More of the fact that you're experiencing that crazy realm over there.
Oh, okay.
When you go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
sleep and you dream,
Yeah.
that realm is a real place.
Oh, okay.
You just got data streamed out from here, your consciousness data streamed out from here,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
your data streamed over to that
Oh.
other weird place.
Yeah, okay. Huh.
And then
I mean, I
like
think
and then if you die in your dream, you just
you died somewhere over there, and then you just come back. Yeah,
you come back to your
save spot, your reset spot.
yeah your save spot, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. I was reading. Well, I wasn't reading about anything because I don't read a lot of things.
Mhm.
Watch a lot of
Who
things.
reads?
Who reads? Who listens though? Yeah, listening. No, yeah, no. Just because like, what are we but energy, right? You know, so energy encompasses what is our everything,
Correct.
and once that energy goes away, where's it go? Like, does it really disappear though? And then that's what I think people are starting to experience when it comes to out of body experiences. Your energy leaves,
Mm-hmm.
the essence that is, and then shoots off somewhere else. I don't know. It's an interesting. So much to think about.
Absolutely.
It's like how far are you willing to go, and how much you willing to keep your mind open to?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that guy was talking about. He was like, it's easier to teach kids that because they don't have life telling them
Yeah.
it's not
It's wrong. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that
Yeah.
it's not that way.
Mm.
And so most adults have to unprogram themselves and then shut their logic brain off for them to be able to operate out of their instinction brain.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's insane. But it's fun.
It's very fun to think about. It's very fun to think about, especially if like I wouldn't say especially, but like if you're an intellectual and you just like to like just go off on random things. Most people unfortunately don't have the time and space to be able to just go off on mental paths. Mental tangents or whatever, because they're focusing on feeding the kids and then being productive at work and then not pissing off the boss and then not pissing off the spouse or the significant other and then trying to have some fun in the midst of it all and then there's no place for imagination or the gap of this the place to allow your mind to just
give it that wandering space.
The wandering space, right? Exactly. And so today's episode is going to be brought to you by walking out in the woods to give yourself wandering space.
Greater understanding of wandering the space.
The wandering space. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, so that's crazy. It's all wild. I love it. I love life. To be able to. So you said that was probably your near death experience. Is going underwater in Lake Anna.
Yeah. Just getting that little flash of how things could be. Just trying to get it to that point now. I have no idea how old I was in that like flash, but it's just like whatever it is, I feel like I'm close to it. I'm giving myself, a chronicle timeline of when to get it done by, but I know at some point it's going to be done.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this past year for me, I've had a few things that I've always had in my mind, and it's interesting. like my last recent relationship, a few things got accomplished.
Yeah.
That I've had dreams in my head that was just like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That they got accomplished. So if that means that's got accomplished, now I'm like, I don't have anything else. I got to start dreaming again.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's like, oh, those did come accomplished. I'm 32. I thought it was going to happen when I was 26,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I've had those in my head my entire life, but I didn't. I felt like I was going to have it happen,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I was like, I guess maybe not.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so I still have a few things in my head, which gives me confidence to keep going.
Oh, absolutely.
Even in the hardships and stuff, no matter how hard things
yeah.
go, like it's always like if you have that dream, it'll fulfill itself.
Absolutely.
Maybe not in the way that
You thought, yeah.
yeah.
There's a little variation to it, but it'll happen.
Totally. And so that's what's interesting. It's so crazy. It's so weird. Life's so weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
it's fun though.
yeah.
Yeah.
So death. So that was like your most recent, well, not most recent, but your what do you think about like on the back end? Like we've already talked a little bit about energy going
Mhm.
places or stuff. Do you think that like consciousness is gonna go, your consciousness is gonna go with it, or do you think you'll be?
I mean, it's so for the energy thing. I think, of that energy that it is me now.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna get transferred somewhere.
Right.
Now, whether I'm gonna remember it or that energy's gonna remember it,
Right.
I don't know, but I feel like it would take some kind of something because energy just doesn't get wasted.
No.
It just gets repurposed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think about it. What are we made of? We're made of everything that is the stars.
Totally.
Right? So this energy that we are now, we have been around for a long time until we started using that material to become us.
Right.
But I don't know. I think it's everlasting. You just don't know it, or if you'll be conscious of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be, it just kind of gets spread out, and then you get to keep on living a different way.
Yeah, I'm so it's so scary at the same time
yeah,
because like my
absolutely.
brain, we've only ever knew, and this is why I started this podcast, it was because I'm freaked the fuck out about not because of death.
Yeah. But the unknowing.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Not having the ability to logically just, because in everything in life, you can logically break it down to an understanding point of view. You're like, okay, I may not agree with that, but I can logically understand how you can see it that way, or so on and so forth. They're like, okay, that accident happened. I can understand. That sucks, whatever, but I can understand. But death is the one thing that nobody
has an answer to. Yeah.
Nobody has an answer to. And it's like, yeah, there's a bunch of religions that think about death in like either a finite thing or it's a everlasting thing. If you're in the Jewish descent of some kind, meaning, and then Jewish and Christianity, Islam, all of those, then you have like the Buddhists who say that we're like more like what you were saying. And then you got like the Hindu people, which they all talk about like how we're going to get reincarnated, whether it be in the same form. Then you got some folks that are like, oh, we just going to redo this life over and over and over and over and over again, which is
crazy to think that like it's just like, what if you did restart everything? Are you going to do something different this time? Or is that why you have deja vu in the first place, and then you're just going to redo it all over again?
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's like, okay, maybe we're not living our entire life in a constant state of deja vu because because if we were in a constant state of deja vu, you know where I'm going with this. If we're constantly feeling deja vu,
Yeah.
it means that we're doing the same thing over and over
Yeah.
again. But every so often, when you hit that deja vu, it's like, fuck, I did that last
Yeah.
time. Okay, I'm gonna have to go over this whole life again.
Yeah. But you know what I thought about the other day? And I don't even thought.
Does that make sense though?
Yeah, it
Okay.
does. Yeah, yeah. But so on that, but something I thought about the other day, and I don't think I heard it anywhere, but or if I told anybody about it, but it was, what if, and it's kind of grim, but
I like it.
what if this existence is already over, and this is your, uh, you know, like this timeline has ended,
Uh-huh.
your life has ended,
Okay.
and then all of this is a, like, the flashback of your life, you know?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
But because we're all connected in some kind of way, is why we can like interact with the people that we're interacting with. And so like we still had the same relationship that we've had over the years, but I'm, in my deathbed, and I'm already, on my way out, and this is me recalling life.
I get it.
Deja vu was because, yeah, I already lived it,
Mhm.
but now I'm like in my memory coming back with it.
Oh.
And then sometimes you like forget what you like went to go do because maybe your mind's a little fuzzy, it's starting to like go away and deteriorate. Then in the future,
Yeah.
and like now in the memory, you're like, why did I come in here for? Oh, whatever.
That's insane. That's insane. So that reminds me of the TV show Lost.
Oh, I never saw it.
So good.
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3 seasons were amazing. It started going really wonky.
Wait,
and
was that with like the guy that plays Joey, or was that something else? No, that was
Joey from Friends?
Yeah.
No, he's not on that
he's
show.
not in this. Okay.
No.
Now I'm thinking something completely different.
Yeah, this was back in early 2000s.
Okay.
Plane crashes and people get stuck on an island.
Yeah.
And then you have 12, 15 main characters or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so then as the season keeps going, or the show keeps going, then they start adding backstories, and then they start adding new characters, and so on and so forth. As a good TV show does, the arc is amazing. J.J. Abrams, I think it is, but
of course,
yeah, amazing. Season 1, 2, and 3, incredible. Season 4, 5, and 6 start going really off the walls.
Okay.
Like they started going, it's off the walls of like they just threw a bowl of spaghetti on there, and with a lot of loose ends.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, how are you gonna wrap this up?
Yeah.
And it seemed like they were like, okay, this is gonna be a 12-season show, and then the network was like, no, you gotta finish it up in this season.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, kind of had an abrupt ending, but the ending was very
go black like The Sopranos, just done.
I've never seen Sopranos.
Oh, okay.
So it's surprising, but there's a bunch of TV shows I've never seen. Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Sopranos. Those are a bunch of them that I'm like, I'm just not gonna get into it because I don't want to give my life away that much.
I know. Like maybe back then, sure.
Yeah, if I become a millionaire tomorrow with an income flow of $1 million every year, I will 100% watch.
Bucket list that we do first, and then go to watching the nonsensical shit. Yeah.
Exactly.
But what were we saying?
Lost.
Yeah.
So at the end, okay, spoiler alert. If you guys haven't seen it by now, it's about to happen. So I'm about to tell you the ending. If you haven't watched it now, sorry, just skip to it for 4 more minutes ahead, because it was 24 years ago. 20 years ago. It was after 9/11. So the guy's on the island, and he is staring up at the sky, and there's like a church, and there's a bunch of people of like a death of one of the guys, and they all meet at this funeral for this one guy, and then it zooms into one of the main character's eyes, and then it zooms out of him laying on the beach staring at the sky, zooms into his eye, and then zooms out of his eye of him staring at the sky as if the plane crash just happened.
Huh.
And I was like, that's a perfect ending to
Yeah.
that show. Most people hate the ending to that
Yeah.
show, but I was like, that's a perfect ending to like wrap it all up. Because if you were hysterical on an island, you just survived a plane crash, my brain would be going, what is the possibilities of everything that's going to happen the next
Yeah.
X amount of time before I get off this island? And so it was as if the whole TV show was just in his own imagination.
That's great.
And so go back to what you were saying of you and I are just in each other's flashbacks on our deathbeds, which is fucking wild to think. Which is, and then like, but then that timeline loops back on itself because our current right now, we'll get to a deathbed, and then we'll flash back again.
I don't know.
Does that make sense?
Too much time on the road. That's the problem.
Too much time on the road. Yes. Too much time on the road. Oh, man, that's great. Too much time on the road. Yeah. That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that theory a lot.
Yeah.
Because, man, if I think about death too much, it freaks me out.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know. Especially, like, recently. Obviously, you were around for that. So just to see life leave.
Yeah.
It just kind of just
it's a weird
back.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, it's like most of the time you can put it off and you're just like, this is back of my mind. But then you see it in front of you and you can't really, put it off anymore. It's right there.
Right.
So, but yeah, no.
Yeah, a living thing that ends. It's most people are so nerfed.
Oh yeah.
That they don't like. We see it on TV or see it on a show or see it on phones or whatever. But like. It's like,
but to experience it.
Yeah, it's like that thing was living and now it's not.
Or to have a connection to that,
That's even more.
Living, and then it's just like that much more intense. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's all a crazy world we live in. Just see what the next adventure has.
Yeah, there's you have like the death of like relationships too, but that's like a whole different dynamic.
Yeah.
Because that's just all like mental. And emotional. Yeah. It's not like an actual physical thing. Like unless that death of relationship happened because that person died.
Right.
Then that adds the physical to it. But like death of relationships are like, you're like, okay, that dynamic has now ended. So now I got to revive my life on how to live without that person in that dynamic with that person. And then also with animals as well, but dude, this guy he's
out.
He can't. I can't see him, but it's so cute.
You hear it in the background.
Probably so, but yeah, that's a whole other thing. It's like interesting of like how people, and I love how different people handle it too, because like some folks are like me. I don't want to dwell on it. Yeah. I'm like, get through the pain as fast as possible. It's going to be a sucky 5 days or 10 days or however it is. But then once it's over, it's over. Yeah. Some people like to deal with it in little bits and pieces over the course of years. And I'm like, how? How do you deal with it that way? That's like an energy suck for me. But some folks, that's better that way. Yeah. They can't. It's too much for them.
It's too much in one shot. Yeah. Or you just deal with it right there and then and hold on to it for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Depends on how you're set up. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wonder what gets people to be a certain way with that, Like upbringing, the things that you experience in your life to, how much you can handle before you can't handle it no more.
Right.
I don't know.
Yep. And then let me guess, like it just upbringing, then maybe might be DNA as well. Yeah. I don't know. How the parents handled things.
Because I feel like if you have two identical people and like just say there was such a thing,
clones,
right?
Right,
clones, yeah.
Okay.
And they were both brought up the same way. They were both, all the I's were dotted, all the T's were crossed, and then they both experienced death right there.
Right.
Would they both deal with it the same way, or is it something else that like gets you like, I can't handle that right now. I don't know.
I don't know either. It's a great mystery.
I don't even know if I even said that right, but like
I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's a It's a great mystery that
Mhm.
psychologists would love to have the answer to.
Right. Yeah.
Because they would be
Oh,
trillionaires
trillionaires.
if they figure that out. They'd
If
be
I
like,
figure that out, I'm gonna become a psychologist. Get out of here.
shoot, that dude, that's the other thing. Like I've thought about a lot.
Become a psychologist.
Yeah, dude, because I love talking to people, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna do a podcast
Yeah,
instead,
yeah,
save
yeah.
myself some more money on
Yeah. Oh yeah.
because that's like I can talk to people like this,
Yeah.
and then have similar experiences,
Mm-hmm.
just diving into people's brains,
yeah.
and then now I don't get paid for it from the person,
Mm-hmm.
but soon, hopefully,
Yeah, that's right.
hopefully this thing kicks off
I'll
and
buy you dinner. I don't know.
hey, that's like the payment. But cool. So we've talked about life. We talked about death.
Yeah.
Did you bring a song to share?
So I have a song to think about, and it's something that I don't even know where I started listening to it in the first place, but I just know that eventually it came up in my playlist of things, and I don't know. Well, it's called Overthinker.
Uh-huh.
You probably know it,
Yep.
especially if you hear it.
By Enzo?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I love it. I'll play it on this
yeah,
one.
yeah,
But
and it just I don't know. It just if you just listen to it, and then just the vibe that you get off of it, it's just great. I don't know. I know there was many nights where you just be driving and you just play it, and it's just gives you a zone, and you're just like, there it is.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah. So the song is called Overthinker by Enzo, Inzo. We're gonna cut and come back right after the song ends because of copyright, and then the link will be in the description so you guys can listen to it as well. God, I love that song so much. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about my brain in HSP and like how my
conversation we were having the other day?
Neurodivergent?
I feel like we.
I might have talked to you about it, might not.
Yeah.
But
Now divergent. Oh, the
neurodivergent.
thing.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. No, I feel like we have, but go on and.
Yeah. So I talked to say every episode, but my brain's a neurodivergent in HSP, which is highly sensitive person, in aesthetics, and then my whole life I've always had not wanted, but all my life when I listen to music, I get music videos in my brain. So whenever someone shares a song with me, or I already know the song, I go back into that music video, and so on this song, it has Alan Watts. He's the guy who's talking.
Okay.
He's a philosopher.
I've always wondered who that was.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely love it. And there's like other songs that I've heard with the same, like, I guess it could be him still. But
yeah, it is.
Okay. And so I'm just like, who is that? But I never took the time to figure out who it was.
Yeah, his name is Alan Watts. Okay. So there's like a 26-minute recording of that entire like talk that he gave.
I'd love to hear that.
That Enzo broke down to put it into his song.
Nice.
Yeah, that one's so good. And then but the beginning it had, like, in my brain it was just him black and white, and then talking, and then it went into kaleidoscopes.
Okay.
Of different colors and things.
Yeah.
And then the kaleidoscopes were dancing, the shapes were dancing and things, and then obviously it went back to black and white when he starts talking, and then at the very end it started drifting off into, like, floating into space.
Yeah. Huh.
And so, but I love that one because there's so much. Obviously, he's a philosopher, and so his words are so true. It's like it's crazy about, like, how people don't live in the moment; they just want to capture the moment.
Yeah.
And then look at it later, and that's more fun for them.
The whole thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I don't have a lot of social media presence on my personal one, just because I live in the moment so much, and people are like, I just noticed the difference between mine versus other people, and I'm like, man, I wonder how different people's brains are.
Mm.
Is like if they if by capturing it is how they live in the moment versus me just actually living in the moment,
Yeah.
or is it just me trying to um subconsciously revolt against the system?
Right. Yeah. I mean, if that's the case, I'm revolting too because I don't
Totally.
even think I posted anything since like actually the last thing that's been posted on my social media
Yeah.
was somebody's wedding, and they posted it and shared or like tagged me in it.
Oh wow.
I haven't posted anything since I think we lived in Christiansburg.
Well, that's a long time ago.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's yeah. So I could imagine I'm revolting too. No.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's that or if it's just like I don't want to give my life out fully, but now I have a podcast. So
Yeah,
now it's
yeah.
like I don't care.
Right.
But or if it's I think it's more of just like I'm just so living in the moment
Mm-hmm.
with all of my sensories being overwhelmed, good way, not
Yeah,
not
yeah,
bad
yeah.
way. Because my brain just receives more information than the average, quote unquote. Um, and so I'm just so locked in on the moment that I'm just like, I don't want to cut this off because
Yeah.
to capture it. But sometimes that is a regret though, because like I would love to look back on
Yeah,
things.
and then just running off memory. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that fuzziness that you said
Yeah.
earlier.
Oh, believe me, dude. My memory for certain things is very vivid, and so an event that happened, I could bring it back and tell you just about how specific things were.
Yeah.
But then, give it 6 7 years, and then try to bring that memory back, and it's just like, I wish I would have, did something with that, like took a picture of it,
Totally.
recorded it, even a sound recording just to trigger that synapses to come back.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a great, I love that song so much.
Yeah.
There's so much more in that song. Whenever it comes on, I'm always happy.
Oh yeah,
I'm always
absolutely.
happy. It always
Yeah,
makes
especially like if you're like I'll listen to it whenever I'm just kind of like if I'm starting off, just give me a point of reference. So just begin my day because driving 3 5 6 hours,
Yep.
in a shot, it could put you in a mood. It could take you out of the reality of what you're doing.
Yep.
And just having those thoughts that you have, whether they're negative or positive, just listen to that. It just brings you back and just like, hey, hold on a second. Just like, remember, pull yourself out of it.
Yep.
Keep going the way you're going. Be productive in your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You have a
Yeah, I think that's called like mental priming.
yeah. Okay.
People have different like triggers.
Yeah.
Some people have like words. Some
Yeah.
people have sounds.
Okay.
Things like that. That to prime your brain to get back into that routine over there that you programmed it with.
Oh, okay.
And so, but yeah, we've done an hour.
Yeah.
That was a great hour.
Oh yeah.
Had fun.
Yeah, I had a
And
blast.
so, I will see you guys next time.
Yeah.